Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A blank gap or missing part. Complete and absolute. Blank stupidity. A blank character used to separate successive words in writing or printing. Of a surface, not written or printed on. Blank pages. A cartridge containing an explosive charge but no bullet. A piece of material ready to be made into something. Keep the opposing, baseball, team from winning. Not charged with a bullet. A blank cartridge. Without comprehension. When I called her name, she gave me a blank look, as though she didn't know me. A blank gap or missing part. Without qualification. Used informally as, often pejorative, intensifiers. Utter nonsense. Articulate. Either verbally or with a cry, shout, or noise. He uttered a curse. Complete and absolute. Utter seriousness. Express in speech. Express audibly. Utter sounds, not necessarily words. He uttered strange sounds that nobody could understand. Put into circulation. Utter counterfeit currency. Printing. A block of type without a raised letter, used for spacing between words or sentences. The unlimited expanse in which everything is located. They tested his ability to locate objects in space. The interval between two times. It all happened in the space of 10 minutes. Any location outside the Earth's atmosphere. The astronauts walked in outer space without a tether. A blank character used to separate successive words in writing or printing. He said the space is the most important character in the alphabet. A blank area. Write your name in the space provided. An area reserved for some particular purpose. The laboratory's floor space. An empty area, usually bounded in some way between things. The architect left space in front of the building. One of the areas between or below or above the lines of a musical staff. The spaces are the notes face. Place at intervals. Make clean by removing dirt, filth, or unwanted substances from. The dentist cleaned my teeth. Free of restrictions or qualifications. A clean bill of health. Free from clumsiness, precisely or deftly executed. He landed a clean left on his opponent's cheek. Of a manuscript, having few alterations or corrections. A clean manuscript. Clean one's body or parts thereof, as by washing. Clean up before you see your grandparents. Not spreading pollution or contamination, especially radioactive contamination. A clean fuel. Completely, used as intensifiers. Clean forgot the appointment. Exhibiting or calling for sportsmanship or fair play. A clean fight. Remove unwanted substances from, such as feathers or pits. A weight lift in which the barbell is lifted to shoulder height and then jerked overhead. Of behavior or especially language, free from objectionable elements, fit for all observers. Good clean fun. Of a surface, not written or printed on. A clean page. Morally pure. Led a clean life. Free from impurities. Clean water. Of sound or color, free from anything that dulls or dims. Efforts to obtain a clean bass in orchestral recordings. Remove unwanted substances from. Clean and tidy up the house. She house cleans every week. Free from sepsis or infection. A clean, or uninfected, wound. Remove all contents or possession from, or empty completely. The boys cleaned the sandwich platters. In conformity with the rules or laws and without fraud or cheating. Be cleanable. This stove cleans easily. Deprive wholly of money in a gambling game, robbery, etc. The other players cleaned him completely. Free from dirt or impurities, or having clean habits. Children with clean shining faces. Free of drugs. After a long dependency on heroin, she has been clean for 4 years. Not carrying concealed weapons. Of a record, having no marks of discredit or offense. A clean voting record. Remove shells or husks from. Clean grain before milling it. Remove while making clean. Ritually clean or pure. Thorough and without qualification. A clean getaway. Without difficulties or problems. A clean test flight. A Caucasian. United States writer noted for his humorous essays, 1899 to 1985. United States architect, 1853 to 1906. A tributary of the Mississippi River that flows southeastward through northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. Usually in the plural, trousers made of flannel or gabardine or tweed or white cloth. Anemic looking from illness or emotion. Lips white with terror. Restricted to whites only. Under segregation there were even white restrooms and white drinking fountains. Marked by the presence of snow. A white Christmas. The white part of an egg. The nutritive and protective gelatinous substance surrounding the yolk consisting mainly of albumin dissolved in water. She separated the whites from the yolks of several eggs. United States educator who in 1865, with Ezra Cornell, founded Cornell University and served as its first president, 1832 to 1918. Turn white. This detergent will whiten your laundry. Of a surface, not written or printed on. Wide white margins. Australian writer, 1912 to 1990. Glowing white with heat. White flames. The quality or state of the achromatic color of greatest lightness, bearing the least resemblance to black. United States jurist appointed Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court in 1910 by President Taft. Noted for his work on antitrust legislation, 1845 to 1921. United States political journalist, 1915 to 1986. Of hair, having lost its color. The white hairs of old age. Being of the achromatic color of maximum lightness, having little or no hue owing to reflection of almost all incident light. As white as fresh snow. Benevolent, without malicious intent. That's white of you. Board games, the lighter pieces. Free from moral blemish or impurity, unsullied. In shining white armor. Of coffee, having cream or milk added. Of or belonging to a racial group having light skin coloration. Voting patterns within the white population. Of summer nights in northern latitudes where the sun barely sets. White nights. A cartridge containing an explosive charge but no bullet. Make a dummy of. Dummy up the books that are to be published. A cartridge containing an explosive charge but no bullet. A person who does not talk. An ignorant or foolish person. A figure representing the human form. Having the appearance of being real but lacking capacity to function. A dummy corporation. Without qualification. Used informally as, often pejorative, intensifiers. A complete coward. Perfect and complete in every respect, having all necessary qualities. A complete gentleman. Having come or been brought to a conclusion. The harvesting was complete. Highly skilled. A complete musician. Write all the required information onto a form. Complete a pass. Come or bring to a finish or an end. She completed the requirements for her master's degree. Complete or carry out. Bring to a whole, with all the necessary parts or elements. A child would complete the family. Having every necessary or normal part or component or step. A complete meal. Leave behind empty. Move out of. Excrete or discharge from the body. Needing nourishment. After skipped lunch, the men were empty by supper time. Devoid of significance or force. Empty promises. Become empty or void of its content. A container that has been emptied. Emptied of emotion. After the violent argument, he felt empty. Holding or containing nothing. An empty glass. Make void or empty of contents. Remove. Of weapons, not charged with ammunition. Many people are killed by guns thought to be unloaded. Lacking perception. Lacking perception. As unperceptive as a boulder. Lacking sensitivity, taste, or judgment. A purified and potent form of cocaine that is smoked rather than snorted, highly addictive. A long narrow opening. A usually brief attempt. He took a crack at it. A narrow opening. He opened the window a crack. Become fractured. Break or crack on the surface only. The glass cracked when it was heated. Suffer a nervous breakdown. A chance to do something. Break suddenly and abruptly, as under tension. Witty remark. Pass through, a barrier. Registrations cracked through the 30,000 mark in the county. Make a sharp sound. Of the highest quality. A crack shot. A long narrow depression in a surface. A sudden sharp noise. The crack of a whip. The act of cracking something. A blemish resulting from a break without complete separation of the parts. There was a crack in the mirror. Break into simpler molecules by means of heat. The petroleum cracked. Break partially but keep its integrity. The glass cracked. Cause to become cracked. Heat and light cracked the back of the leather chair. Gain unauthorized access computers with malicious intentions. She cracked my password. Hit forcefully. Deal a hard blow, making a cracking noise. The teacher cracked him across the face with a ruler. Make a very sharp explosive sound. His gun cracked. Reduce petroleum to a simpler compound by cracking. Tell spontaneously. Crack a joke. An act of delaying or interrupting the continuity. There was a gap in his account. An open or empty space in or between things. The explosion made a gap in the wall. A narrow opening. A conspicuous disparity or difference as between two figures. Gap between income and outgo. A pass between mountain peaks. Make an opening or gap in. A difference, especially an unfortunate difference, between two opinions or two views or two situations. A formal recommendation by a former employer to a potential future employer describing the person's qualifications and dependability. Requests for character references are all too often answered evasively. A person of a specified kind, usually with many eccentricities. A real character. The inherent complex of attributes that determines a person's moral and ethical actions and reactions. Education has for its object the formation of character. An imaginary person represented in a work of fiction, play or film or story. She is the main character in the novel. A written symbol that is used to represent speech. The Greek alphabet has 24 characters. A characteristic property that defines the apparent individual nature of something. The radical character of our demands. An actor's portrayal of someone in a play. Engrave or inscribe characters on. Genetics. An attribute, structural or functional, that is determined by a gene or group of genes. Good repute. He is a man of character. A written symbol that is used to represent speech. Represent by means of a graph. A visual representation of the relations between certain quantities, represented as points, plotted with reference to a set of axes. A written symbol that is used to represent speech. A visual display of information. Plot upon a graph. A written symbol that is used to represent speech. An electroacoustic transducer that is the part of the arm of a record player that holds the needle and that is removable. A light tight supply chamber holding the film and supplying it for exposure as required. Ammunition consisting of a cylindrical casing containing an explosive charge and a bullet, fired from a rifle or handgun. A module designed to be inserted into a larger piece of equipment. He loaded a cartridge of fresh tape into the tape deck. Paper used for writing or printing. A large piece of fabric, usually canvas fabric, by means of which wind is used to propel a sailing vessel. Bed linen consisting of a large rectangular piece of cotton or linen cloth, used in pairs. Nautical. A line, rope or chain, that regulates the angle at which a sail is set in relation to the wind. A flat artifact that is thin relative to its length and width. Mathematics. An unbounded two-dimensional shape. Newspaper with half-size pages. Any broad thin expanse or surface. A sheet of ice. Come down as if in sheets. The rain was sheeting down during the monsoon. Cover with a sheet, as if by wrapping. Sheet the body. A flat artifact that is thin relative to its length and width. Stop someone or something from doing something or being in a certain state. We must prevent the cancer from spreading. Keep from happening or arising. Make impossible. The main tower within the walls of a medieval castle or fortress. Maintain by writing regular records. Keep a diary. Conform one's action or practice to. Keep appointments. Continue a certain state, condition, or activity. Maintain in safety from injury, harm, or danger. May God keep you. The financial means whereby one lives. Each child was expected to pay for their keep. Behave as expected during of holidays or rites. Prevent the action or expression of. Keep your cool. Stop someone or something from doing something or being in a certain state. Retain possession of. Can I keep my old stuffed animals? Supply with necessities and support. There's little to earn and many to keep. Stick to correctly or closely. Keep count. Retain rights to. Keep my job for me while I give birth. Fail to spoil or rot. These potatoes keep for a long time. A cell in a jail or prison. Prevent food from rotting. Keep potatoes fresh. Cause to continue in a certain state, position, or activity. E.g., keep clean. The students keep me on my toes. Maintain for use and service. I keep a car in the countryside. Allow to remain in a place or position or maintain a property or feature. The family's fortune waned and they could not keep their household staff. Have as a supply. I always keep batteries in the freezer. Hold and prevent from leaving. Look after. Be the keeper of. Have charge of. He keeps the shop when I am gone. Raise. She keeps a few chickens in the yard. Store or keep customarily. Where do you keep your gardening tools? Supply with room and board. He is keeping 3 women in the guest cottage.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.